Hi. Hey. That's okay.
Hi everybody.
Hey. It's been a while.
It's been a crash hot second.
So should we open everything before actually? Oh, wow. That looks actually really good.
It smells amazing.
Yeah, it looks really good.
They're so tiny.
I know, they're so cute.
You guys are like the soy?
I don't mind. Babe, do you want soy sauce on top or on the side?
I don't mind.
Oh, on top. On the top.
Is okay?
On the top.
Can I
Let's
just
go.
pour all over?
Yep, all over. Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, perfect. All right.
We're a bit loopy today, guys, not gonna lie. So we've got tteokbokki and kimbap, different kinds, and mandu, and gogi.
제육볶음밥.
Yeah.
우와.
All right. Are you ready?
와우. 잘 먹겠습니다.
먹겠습니다. Wow. Yum. This is the donkatsu. Kimbap. Katsu kimbap. There, there we go. Hello.
Oh, so good.
Mm.
What's up? Is that your like it's delicious dance? Is that what you're doing? Uh-huh.
This is mukbang. Oh, it's delicious. Now, who are you? People know you actually.
Do they? I mean,
Last time we did a video together, it was in a neighborhood in Seoul. During...
No, it was Busan.
Oh, it was this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a while. I love it.
Yeah, it's been a crash a second, but I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah.
So today we are just doing a mukbang to show you kind of the Korean style home delivery with the mekju. This is actually, I picked this up in, I actually found this ad about this, I think, in Busan.
I think it's a Busan brand, isn't it?
Yeah, Jeju. Oh, no, it's Jeju.
It's Jeju, yeah. Never mind.
Paelon Ale, and it is my favorite brand, and I hope that they do international because, bruh, this is my favorite. Oh, look at this tteokbokki. Oh, thank you, kind sir. Of talking about what we have in common, which is EPIK. I just wanted to kind of ask a few questions about EPIK and our journey that we've been on together.
Yeah.
But you've been with EPIK how many years?
I've been here for 4 years now. So since 2017. So this will be the end of my 4th year.
So let's start with that.
Okay.
Let's start with first impressions. What was your first impression of like EPIK?
Of EPIK. So I was actually really excited to start with the EPIK program. I was doing my research before I came to Korea about what was the best program, and EPIK seemed like the most safe program to come into. So when I came to Korea and with the EPIK program, I was very happy about where I was placed and my school. You know, you hear horror stories and you hear like really good stories, and I happen to be thankfully one of the really good stories of EPIK.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's also pretty hard to get into Seoul as well.
It is, yep. My year of, what are they called? Like teachers that came in. Intake, there you go. My intake, there was a lot of Seoul openings that year. So a lot of people were placed in Seoul. So I guess it was just a lucky year to come into. But yeah, so I got placed in Seoul into a really nice school. Love my school. Love my co-teachers, my students. And, you know, first year, there was a lot of, I guess, expectations that my school had on me, that to perform well and to, you know, put in lesson plans and to come on time, teach really good camps and things like that. So I felt a lot of pressure the first year, especially since it was officially my first year teaching. Right, I graduated university and then I went into teaching abroad for my first time, so that was kind of a pressure, I guess. For it.
Ooh, that's so hot. Sorry.
Oh, the tteokbokki?
Oh, it's too hot for me.
Woo! Is it? It's like barely hot.
Woo! Babe, did you try it?
먹어봐. So I think the past teachers at my school must not have been teachers because they were like really surprised that I was preparing these real lessons and like teaching. I see that. Are you good? Do you need some milk? You good?
I think I'm good. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's really interesting. I wanted to say as well, with my experience with my first year, kind of, I struggled more because my teachers had expectations on me that I didn't even know I needed.
Oh, like what?
Like, they referred to the older teacher a lot. Like, I know that the older teacher was there for 4 years.
I'm sorry, you mean like the previous teacher?
The previous teacher, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, so the previous teacher, she was there for 4 years, and they'd be like, oh, so-and-so teacher wouldn't do that, or so-and-so teacher did this.
Oh, okay.
I was like, bruh, like, I don't even know. I don't know the textbook. Like, I need to learn how to do it.
Right.
Versus now,
unfair. Right?
it was kind of unfair, this expectation that, and it took my colleagues a while to figure out, oh, like, we can't have that expectation on them because she doesn't have the same experience as us.
Right, yeah.
You kind of need to do it from the ground up.
So I kind of feel bad because my school's going to go through that as well.
Mine too, because I realized as a third year teacher as well, the difference between first year and third year is that I already know I know everything now, and I have all the stuff prepared.
Right, exactly.
So, like, even, like, it's so easy I have a new co-teacher. I feel like it's a lot easier for her is because, like, it's like, oh, we're doing lesson 6, and I can be like, oh, it's this lesson.
Right.
Oh, I remember that I did this last year. Like, one game we have for a specific lesson, I'm like, oh, let's pull it up again, that kind of thing. As opposed to first year where it was like, I don't know, like, I don't even know what they're supposed to be learning kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, so what's it like as a 4th year now? You've been in I'm saying third year signing the contract was a push for me because I was like, bro, I don't want to do this again for another year.
No.
Like, this year I know was going to be my last year.
No.
But for you, 4 years.
Yeah, I've been in EPIK for 4 years now. The same school, 4 years, same students for 4 years. I do love my school still. I still love my coworkers, love my students, but you know, now after 4 years, like you said, I know the curriculum really well. I have all of my games prepared, so actually preparing my lessons for a week is really easy because I just go back to what I did the year before and maybe change it a little bit. Like, oh, this didn't really work last year. Or maybe like, oh, these students can't handle this game, so I'll change it. Things like that. And it's also very useful that I've been here for 4 years because I really know my students.
Yeah.
You know, because I've had the same 6th graders since they were in 3rd grade. So those students I know like the back of my hand and can prepare lessons really easily that will match like their style. And I know which students need help. That's the other thing, like year 1, you don't really know, like, coming in, you don't know the level of English that you have for the students. You don't know like their personalities that well.
The culture, I think overall,
yeah,
because you can say that for every student, but overall as a foreign teacher, you don't really know the culture or the behaviors of your students overall, because it's different. It's different in Australia. The same kids, it's like they act differently. Like, I feel like Korean kids are more responsible because they have to be. After school they go to Hagwon. On the weekend they go to Hagwon, and they have to be a little bit more responsible. Their parents are more likely to be at work.
Right. I feel like they're more responsible in that sense, but at the same time, I feel like Korean students are very dependent on their teachers. And like, it's very hard to get them to do something by themselves. Like, for example, when I'm teaching camp and I tell my students, okay, we're gonna make this, and it's as simple like painting, like cut out an animal and paint it, that I always have students that are like, is this right, teacher? Like, they always just need,
My school isn't like that.
Oh my gosh, my students are always like, teacher, or sometimes I don't have like my students like not doing anything. They'll just be sitting there and I'm like, you want to start? Can you start, please? And
I have like a few kids like that, but it's more so just linked to their behavior rather than just being an overall thing.
No, I feel like it's too much of a majority. Like for my students, there's too many of them for me to just be like, it's just a few of my students.
So, overall impression of EPIK before we get into just lifestyle.
EPIK.
So, overall impression as someone who is in the EPIK program, about to finish the EPIK program.
Right.
Would you recommend this to other people?
So, I recommend this to people who want to have a safe way of getting into Korea safe and
Secure.
That's the word. Yeah, safe and secure place to come into Korea. It's a government. It's a can. Good.
It's a salad now.
It's a salad. Anyways,
It's a safe and secure. Yes.
safe and secure. Safe and secure. And for people who want to come and experience a new culture and maybe learn a new language, I think it's a great gateway into Korea. As far as the EPIK program being like the best English teacher program, no. I don't think that's the case at all. I think there's a lot of flaws in the EPIK system, as like, for example, the salary. I don't think they really did the salary correct as far as like who has experience and who does not have experience, you know, and for some teachers who come in and have never taught, great, start at the lowest salary. But for someone like me who has had that teaching experience, even though it was in university, I felt wronged being put at the lowest level.
I think it's not so much that, because I've also had experiences teaching in university.
Yeah,
but
right.
You have a teaching license.
I have my teaching license.
I
as well.
don't. I think that's more justification than just experience.
Right.
I think the teaching license is the thing that should bump up.
So I felt kind of insulted when they're like, nah, you're the lowest. And I was like, I should not be at the same pay as teachers who have no experience in teaching and who have no license.
You know what really irks me? Is that we get a pay grade every year.
Yeah, an upgraded one.
Upgraded. Bruh! Mine hasn't it's upgraded, but then I have to pay more tax.
Yeah.
So then it just ends up being less than what I earned the last year. It's like, I was supposed to make more money, but now I'm earning less money. Bro, anyway.
I feel like it's a very shady system like that.
It's a very interesting system, I would say. But the conclusion for that, I think, as well for me, is the type of teachers that come in, if you want to actually teach English, probably try and go through a different means, not EPIK.
Yeah.
What was it like having a pandemic during teaching as a foreigner in another country?
So first of all, I did not want to teach at my school as an English teacher for a 4th year. Did not want to do that. I actually wanted to find a homeroom teacher position at an international school last year.
I remember you. Yes, I remember this.
But when Corona hit, people were panicking and staying in Korea for the security of having a job. Right? So there weren't positions being opened like I thought there should have been. You know? And so I was kind of forced to sign on for another year at EPIK, unfortunately, for the security of having a job.
In Korea, yeah.
In Korea, right. So teaching in Korea with Corona was, as an English teacher, the beginning of, I guess, our first semester with Corona. It was very confusing. My school was changing schedules every day.
Mine too.
Maybe multiple times a day.
Mine too.
And I would be getting messages saying like, okay, you need to prepare this, you need to prepare this, but they wouldn't match up with each other. Right? And so it was very confusing. And then there was times where I wasn't even preparing anything, because I found out that even though I prepared materials for my students, they were only like, they were not required. They were like additional things. But I only had like maybe 1 or 2 students per grade that were doing them.
Yeah, for me as well, I think I ended up not having the 5th grade for almost, I want to say like 6 months, maybe more than 6 months.
Oh, I didn't teach 3rd and 4th grade for the first semester at all.
Yeah, so I did, that was for 5th grade. So I think 4th grade I did, but then I think we skipped 5th and then had 6th. So by the time we ended up coming back offline, I didn't even know it, like any of my grade 5 students, because I had never met them. I mean, I did in grade 4, but they changed so much. I hadn't seen them in 6 months, right? But yeah, so it was definitely difficult. The best thing about the EPIK being part of like a government job,
right?
Which is what EPIK is, through the Ministry of Education, right? is that we had stable, our pay grade didn't change.
Yeah, it didn't change. That was nice, I guess.
Yeah, so I think that was the biggest thing, is that we knew we weren't going to be sent home. We knew that we were going to be staying in a solid contract, which was unfortunate for a lot of people.
Yeah, but there was like a time where like a lot of a lot of teachers are actually being let off because EPIK could not afford all of the. Yeah,
I didn't hear about that. I heard about the hard ones, not the EPIK.
No. EPIK was like closing positions because teachers weren't like coming over, or schools weren't.
No, I heard about
their foreigners come.
But they didn't send people home.
They didn't send them
That's
home.
What I'm saying.
No, but they didn't re-sign teachers.
Yeah, just to clarify, they didn't re-sign teachers, but they didn't send teachers.
Yeah,
they didn't fire anyone.
Right, they didn't fire anyone, but like when it was coming to re-signing a contract, if a teacher was like, "Oh, I want to re-sign," the school was like, "No."
Yeah, I did hear some of those things.
Yeah.
So, how is your experience outside of EPIK?
Right. So you want to go first?
Year 1 versus year 4 for you. But yeah,
you go first.
So in my first year, I felt like I was living through university again, to be honest.
Like, in what way?
Like social life, I'd be out like every single weekend. So like Hongdae.
Right.
First it was Hongdae a lot, and Myeongdong.
Myeongdong, yeah.
And just, we had a lot of like YouTuber parties and things in my first year. It was so much fun. I got to learn a lot.
Yeah.
Become friends with people.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
You met me?
I did. That was fun. You were cool.
I was cool.
Yeah. Were. I'm kidding. Yeah, so first year was definitely probably like the best in terms of socializing and meeting everyone, new people, meeting everyone, that kind of thing. And then I got involved in church as well, which was like some of the best memories from that sort of period.
Yeah.
And then
you made some great friends through church.
I didn't I?
Yeah, I love your friends from church. I'm friends with a few of them. I love them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love them too. I'm gonna miss them so much. Anyway, yeah, it's always temporary here, isn't it? Feels like.
Yeah, for foreigners it usually is.
Yeah. And then versus now, I think the pandemic is the worst thing that happened.
Yeah.
Probably the best thing out of the pandemic for me was that because we live so far away from the center of Seoul.
Yeah.
Especially where my church is located, is like on the other side of Seoul, so it takes a long time. So whenever I'd be like, "Oh, people can come to my place," no one would want to come, which was really sad
Because it's so far.
because it's so far to them.
Right.
But when the pandemic happened and they were like, "Well, you can't meet outside; you can only meet in homes," everyone was like, "Hey, we're coming to your house."
Because it's the biggest out of your friends. Yeah? Wasn't it the biggest house out of your friends?
The biggest and the freest, I think.
Freest.
Because like I'm so close to the train station, and then also a lot of my friends are university students, so they're in dormitories or they're with housemates. So I was the only one living by myself with a big enough house to host people in.
Gotcha.
Before we had like the pandemic rules, right?
Right.
This is when the start of it, when everyone didn't know what was happening. And then, yeah, I think that's the best thing, because I've had some really good like sleepovers and memories here, because people were like, "Oh, it's not that far now." But back then, in the first year, everyone was like, "It's too far away. We don't want to come."
But to be fair, Topong is pretty far from like everything.
It's so far away.
Yeah.
But it's just funny now that I can just ask and people will just come now. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. And like it's been difficult because we haven't been able to go out and do things. Like I wanted to go to the palace again, and like go, and I wanted to go to Sejong City as well.
I know you did, yeah.
But because of the pandemic, like what's happening at the moment with all the new rules and things, it's just
traveling inside Korea is also hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also because I started studying again.
Right.
I didn't even have time to be able to just take a weekend away. So yeah, I think that's my biggest experience.
Yeah. For me, year 1, 2, and maybe half of 3 was a lot of just exploring Korea and traveling literally to Busan, Jeju, Jeonju, Sokcho.
Oh, Sokcho, yeah. We went to Sokcho together, right?
We did, yeah. We went up to Soraksan.
That was fun.
And doing a lot of traveling and a lot of learning the culture and a lot of learning the language, which was ultimately my biggest goal of actually coming to Korea, was really immersing myself in a new culture and learning a new language. So I felt like I had accomplished that. And I also went through 2, I think, really big changes in my life and in my friendships, in relationships, in my friend circle, I suppose. And with those big changes came a lot of personal changes. So Caitlin 2017 is very different than Caitlin 2021.
I have to vouch for that. I agree.
Yes.
With that.
Yeah. So especially in this last year, I've had a lot of growth within the last year of Corona, and I think that's because I was forced to spend time by myself, and I did go through the depressive state for a while, but with that came what I'm going through now, which is just a lot of happiness and a lot of just like personal growth, and I'm really proud of it. And it was really hard, but I got through it, and I think the person who I am today is like who I'm most proud of. And I it's easier for me to do things now in Korea. Now that I've learned the language and learned the culture, I can go to a bank by myself and ask for information on loans and anything, or I can go to a hospital by myself, and I don't necessarily have a lot of problems anymore with communication.
I think you have more Korean friends though than I do, right?
I have a lot of Korean friends these days.
Probably the best thing for me. I mean, it's not the best thing from my perspective. I had the opportunity to become friends with so many people from different countries, and that's the biggest thing that I learned about Korea. It wasn't Koreans itself, was the international group, the international culture that's hidden within Seoul. I think that's the beautiful thing about Korea, is being able to learn about it, the world culture, and not just America.
Excuse me. Why did you say it like that? Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
I feel attacked by this statement.
Where are you from?
Minnesota.
Exactly. My point taken. Not America, Minnesota. As if everyone's supposed to know every single state in the bloody America. It's like me being like, Kate, where are you from? Oh, I'm from New South Wales. It's like, Wales? No, New South Wales.
I only said it because I do you hate when I say
I know, but you don't. I know, it's so cute. Anyway, thanks for coming.
You're welcome. The food was great. There's still a few things
full.
I am almost there.
Yeah.
I did a lot of talking, but thank you for having me.
You're welcome. See you next time, guys.
Bye.